The World Economic Forum is an international, non-governmental, and lobbying organization based in Colony Canton of Geneva, Switzerland. It was founded on January 24, 1971 by German engineer Klaus Schwab. The forum engages the foremost political, business, cultural, and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas. If you remember, in the beginning of this year, many heads of state and business leaders went to Davos for the World Economic Forum's annual meeting. Back in the day, I remember Alex Jones used to expose stuff like this, and it was conspiracy. But now these people, they got smarter, and they do these things right out in the open with news coverage. They tell us what they're doing, and the people don't really care. So anyways, Klaus Schwab published this book on January 11th of 2016. It's very plainly titled The Fourth Industrial Revolution. And his next book was Shaping the Future of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And that was published on November 6th of 2018. The second book piggybacks off the first. And if you read them, they explain a great deal about what we are currently seeing forming in this world. So I will be using this book and his words to explain this topic to you, and from this, you can be better informed of what these people put in their books because they know the public won't read them. In his first book, he gives historical context about what this fourth industrial revolution means. He writes, "The word revolution denotes abrupt and radical change. Revolutions have occurred throughout history when new technologies and novel ways of perceiving the world trigger a profound change in economic systems and social structures. The first industrial revolution spanned from about 1760 to around 1840. Triggered by the construction of railroads and the invention of the steam engine, it ushered in mechanical production. The second industrial revolution, which started in the late 19th century, and into the early 20th century, made mass production possible, fostered by the advent of electricity and the assembly line. The third industrial revolution began in the 1960s. It is usually called the computer or digital revolution because it was catalyzed by the development of semiconductors, mainframe computing, 1960s, personal computing, 1970s and 80s, and the internet, 1990s. And today, we are at the beginning of a fourth industrial revolution. It began at the turn of the century and builds on the digital revolution. It is characterized by a much more ubiquitous and mobile internet, by smaller and more powerful sensors that have become cheaper, and by artificial intelligence and machine learning. That's how he breaks down the fourth industrial revolution. So listen, if you think that all of a sudden you've been hearing a lot about AI and ChatGPT, it's because they are transitioning our minds for this fourth industrial revolution that's upon us, and they're just getting us ready for it. And his explanation should be enough context for understanding what we are about to discuss. The first three industrial revolutions changed the world in many different ways, but it was more from a business industrial standpoint, like with the first revolution with the railroads, and the second revolution with electricity and assembly lines for mass production. Now, of course, the electricity, it changed our life drastically. Or even the third with computers and the internet. I mean, imagine your life without that revolution. Imagine your life without computers and the internet. All these things drastically changed our lives and the world. They drastically changed the world that we lived in. And we should not expect anything less from the fourth revolution. But the thing is that, like everything else that's coming with this new world order, this fourth industrial revolution is not just about industry or business, but about us personally and how us as humans will be involved with it and interact with it. Schwab writes, by enabling smart factories, the fourth industrial revolution creates a world in which virtual and physical systems of manufacturing globally cooperate with each other in a flexible way. This enables the absolute customization of products and the creation of new operating models. The fourth industrial revolution, however, is not only about smart and connected machines and systems. Its scope is much wider. Occurring simultaneously are waves of further breakthroughs in areas ranging from gene sequencing to nanotechnology, from renewables to quantum computing. It is the fusion of these technologies and their interaction across the physical, digital, and biological domains that make the fourth industrial revolution fundamentally different from previous revolutions. And so for me, I am highlighting and displaying these points he has made in his books because it's easy for us to just wave all this off and just say that this is how things happen over time. We're spoiled, and so we just look at things as technological progress, evolution. I mean, the other week I saw the New York mayor introducing robo-dogs and just basically told us it's evolution. But people don't recognize they are witnessing an agenda being carried out right before them. It's much more than just evolution, but people are not aware of the agenda even though they're not hiding it. If you pay close attention to the word Schwab used in his books, it's very telling. He said the fourth industrial revolution is fundamentally different from the previous revolutions. So it's important to understand what makes this revolution so different. In the second chapter of this book, he writes about the drivers of the fourth industrial revolution. He speaks of megatrends. This is an important word that they all use, but unfortunately, most of us don't even know of it or we haven't even heard of it. So what are megatrends? According to the company BlackRock, megatrends are powerful, transformative forces that could change the global economy, business, and society. Megatrends have been changing the way we live for centuries. Think electricity, automobile, the internet. Yeah. Wikipedia says megatrends are trends that have an effect on a global scale. What I am trying to convey here is that what Schwab is about to talk about in this chapter are about trends that will affect the whole world and change the way we live. So for you, being one that lives in this world, I hope you think it's wise to understand where the power players and decision makers are steering this world towards, what they feel will change the world. Schwab says, to identify the megatrends and convey the broad landscape of technological drivers of the fourth industrial revolution, I have organized the list into 3 clusters: physical, digital, and biological. All 3 are deeply interrelated, and various technologies benefit from each other based on the discoveries and progress each makes. So let's be clear. What he is about to explain is how he has broken down this coming industrial revolution. He broke it into 3 parts: physical, digital, and biological. In regards to physical, we'll talk about it first. He says there are 4 main physical manifestations of the technological megatrends, which are the easiest to see because of their tangible nature: autonomous vehicles, 3D printing, advanced robotics, new materials. And those things are right in front of our face. I mean, basically, we know about driverless cars, but they plan many other autonomous vehicles to be introduced in the mainstream. Autonomous trucks, drones, aircrafts, and boats. Basically, all of our transportation will be run by artificial intelligence and will not be operated by humans. Things like our Ubers and DoorDash, these will all be automated by drones and driverless cars. I think that is a big change. We are giving over our control to robots we do not control, but others do. I think their plan for drones is the most alarming, though. They've shown what to expect from these things in many dystopian movies and shows about the new world that's coming. You see, you can't reason with a robot, and they do not operate off of feelings. So when you're having robots interacting with our society on a normal, consistent basis, that's dangerous. That's a change. They also are using 3D printing. And if you're on Instagram or I guess TikTok, you might see reels about people using 3D printing to make buildings. Or I remember in a Mission Impossible, they showed it being used to make a face. This technology is real, but most people don't have a clue. Schwab says this about 3D printing. 3D printing, also called additive manufacturing. 3D printing consists of creating a physical object by printing layer upon layer from a digital 3D model or drawing. This is the opposite of subtractive manufacturing, which is how things have been made until now, with layers being removed from a piece or material until the desired shape is obtained. He said, the technology is being used in a broad range of applications, from large wind turbines to small medical implants. 3D printing will become more pervasive to include integrated electronic components such as circuit boards and even human cells and organs. Researchers are already working on 4D, a process that would create a new generation of self-altering